if we don't get over the hurt,
Right.
in your book, you're talking about how that can become a generational thing.
Right.
How do we break that?
So first of all, let me say that undealt with wounds turn into infections that turn into dysfunction that can turn into sabotage.
Please say that again.
Undealt with wounds can turn into infections that can turn into dysfunctions that can turn into sabotage.
Wow.
So when I was 19, which is a few years ago, I was doing construction, manual labor, and I had a big saw in my hand, and I cut my hand open. I had about 15 stitches. I'm 19, I'm a kid. So what do I do when I leave the hospital? I just go right back to work. I worked that afternoon, the whole next day. And the day after that, I woke up with my hand infected. The swelling was so bad, it went all the way up to my elbow. I had to go back to the emergency room. They took a scrub brush and scrubbed that wound. And that really is where the concept for the book title came from, because it actually hurt more to have them clean that wound out than the original injury did. So healing does hurt. If you don't deal with the wound properly when it happens, it will become infected. And had I not caught the infection, that hand would have become disabled, possibly even amputated, which means I would be sabotaged to this day in my functionality. So undealt with wounds turn into infections, turn into dysfunction, turn into sabotage. What does that have to do with generational curses, generational patterns? Inevitably, I am going to pass down to my children what I am and what I have, what I'm not and what I don't have.
Yes.
So my undealt with issues inevitably will become their undealt with issues. But on the contrast, my victory and my breakthrough will become their victory and their breakthrough.
Wow. Listen, somebody ought to be commenting right now. I think all of us need to begin to search ourselves now to see if there was some undealt issues of the past, because if we don't take care of it, what I'm hearing from you, it's going to fester.
It does.
And it's going to create major problems.
Mm-hmm.
That is powerful,
and
man.
most of the time when trauma hits, and it's a clinical term, it's survival mode, right? We do everything we can mentally just to survive the trauma, but we're not healing. We're just surviving. And what happens is we are tricked into thinking that just because we survived a thing means we healed from a thing. And there's a big difference between surviving something and being healed from something.
Now, wait a minute. Now, we got to sit now. Now, you're dropping too many good nuggets here, man. Guys, you got to get this book, because I am telling you right now, when you just said that it's possible that you could
survive it without being healed from it.
It just hit me. I think a lot of us have survived.
We're just alive.
But we...
So we think we're okay because we're alive.
Oh, my God.
And most of us don't even have a reference point for what healing is. The greatest miracles that I saw in the Bible were people who were lame from their birth who had a desire to walk again because they had no reference point for it. And so it's hard to want something that you don't know. And it's hard to know that you're not okay when not being okay is your normal.
Because just to survive doesn't mean that you're healed.
No.
And that's why sometimes we respond negatively.
Mm-hmm.
So you hurt me 10 years ago. I've survived it.
Mm-hmm.
John Doe comes, and I'm putting up a wall.
Right.
And I'm going to treat John Doe, and I'm going to vent on John Doe because I've survived you.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't given John Doe a chance to prove himself to me.
Yeah.
So I am really trying to punish him based on my past experience with you.
And the craziest thing about that is whoever that person was that originally hurt you is still affecting your life to the point that it's controlling your relationships in your present. And so it's an amazing thing how pain can be a captivator. It can be something that holds us as prisoners, and we can punish people, good people that God's put in our life, simply because we haven't dealt with someone who was scandalous from our past.
Ooh, I wish I could drop this mic on the floor, man. You're dropping some good nuggets here, man. Oh, my goodness.